November the 15th. How's it going? Yeah, we got a interesting stories for you today. Talking about what's happening in the economy, science stuff. We also touch on football and y'all Gen Z people. Just spending your money on. Let's go. Welcome to the Brandon T Show, where we talk about everything that's important to the working man. And we're not politically correct here. So working man means men, women, whoever's out here getting it. We come to deliver the news that's important to y'all. And with that said, this is the Working Man Committee. All right, let's get into it. Gen Z, American Express has partnered with TikTok to help small business reach y'all. Here's what business owners should know. If you're a small business, American Express is going to help y'all get to the Gen Zs. And when I say Gen Zs, there's people born from 1997 to 2012. Yep, so here we go. This is a CNBC story. To reach Gen Z businesses have had a great creation in a social media platform like TikTok. According to a 2022 Shop Small Impact study from American Express, 72% of small business owners say their customers reply on social media channels for store news, and almost 88% say it helps them find their new customers. So here we go. So American Express is talking to its customers, saying that their business goes to social media instead of traditional channels and so forth, website and so forth, ads, and they all do it on social media. And so American Express said, let's develop something to get to them. So to help business reach the next generation of customers, American Express has partnered with TikTok ahead of a Small Business Saturday, a global moment for focus founded by American Express in 2010. Small Business Saturday is dedicated to supporting local businesses to create job opportunities, stimulate the economy, and make neighborhoods better around the country. It's always held on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which this year will be on 26th. All right. Yeah. I said it's a good thing. American Express wants to be popular with the younger crowd, and they jumping right in the middle of that. I like that. All right. Let's move to our next story. Working man. This is gonna be a little hard. And Amazon is laying off 10,000. The biggest cut in the company's history, report says. Now, you're like, why is Amazon laying off? You're looking for your 2-day order, and it's 3 days, 4 days. All right, Amazon. Sometimes you put it in, wait, and it never actually. This is actually point. Amazon, what the world? But we also got to remember, Amazon is a technology company also, and so within the technology field, there's been a lot of layoffs. So let's get into this Axios story. It's laying out 10,000 employees, the largest cut in company history. And for more on this, let's go to reporter Marcus in NBC Bay Area. Marcus, tell us more about what happened with this Amazon cut. Go.
approximately 10,000 employees in corporate and technology roles beginning this week. This is all according to a report from the New York Times. Shares of Amazon were down about 2.5% this morning. This is following the recent report. Now, those cuts would be the largest in the company's history. This will primarily impact Amazon's devices organization as well as its retail division and human resources department.
Yeah, so with Amazon, you gotta realize it ain't just your packages they do. You know what I'm saying? They're a big tech company too, with the AWS side and then devices. You know what I'm saying? You say a certain name around a certain device, and it just comes alive and tell you whatever, or it thinks you said that name and it just comes alive. Yeah. Yep. A brutal month for a layoff for tech, as the industry adjusts to a world of rising rates, falling demand, and a hangover from overhiring during the boom. Yeah. So there was a big time where tech was hiring left, right, and center. And with them hiring left, right, and center, I guess there's a point of tipping when you got the Powell, you got the Fed trying to raise rates to slow the economy, and now the fallout from fighting inflation means you gotta put people out of work. Amazon Business Corp is selling stuff as been slowing for years as folks are spending less time at home. Axios Hope King reports last month. It has already said it's expects the holiday season to be weaker than expected. I guess y'all. So y'all not spending money through Amazon? Okay. Let's see. Including today's announcement, there have been more than 30,000 employees cut from the sector in November, blowing away the numbers of April and March of 2020. So this year, more people got axed in tech than in the middle of the pandemic. Jerome Powell. If you're planning to throw people out of work working, they get thrown out of work. Now we're gonna shift gears from getting thrown out of work to figure out what to do next. The gig economy. Let's roll this story. Let's see, inflation has gig economy peaks, more side hustles. And Reuters talking about this from Toronto. Some members of the shared economy are seeing a revitalization in side hustles as inflation bites. People are becoming more interested in driving for Uber. Okay. And listing their abodes on Airbnb. Okay. I said, I got a room in here. You know, so I rent that room out. You move around. So the hotel act. And others are making extra bucks. That is a pleasant shift in the marketplace that relies on shared workers and shared or space. And at least now, demand of services are keeping up. So, people still need stuff, people want stuff. And instead of going to bigger business, they more hand to hand. So, with inflation going up and people fighting for, you know what I'm saying, for money, since the Fed is trying to put you out of business. Yeah. But, like I said, keep hustling. Alright, let's move along to science. Business Insider. Let's see, a secret U.S. Space Force unmanned craft landed after almost 2.5 years in orbit. What? Yes, the ship, if you see here, if you remember, back when they used to fly the space shuttle, looks like a mini space shuttle. Interesting. So the design stayed around and so forth. Yeah, so it came back. They landed it, said the other day. U.S. Space Force landed the latest of its X-5 unmanned crafts on Saturday after 908 days in orbit. Wow, this thing's been circling the Earth. Let's see, it entered the atmosphere with a sonic boom at 5 a.m., startling locals who weren't expecting it. I mean, they could have sent out, send a text message or something like, hey, alarm clock's going off at 5 a.m. on Saturday. Yeah. As the Space Force says that the sensitive mission was to experiment like beaming energy from space. Yes, the U.S. Space Force landed the X-3B unmanned craft on Saturday after it been in orbit. Yes, it's 29-foot long robotic spacecraft, which looks like a small version of the space shuttle, was launched in 2020, in May in 2020. So things were still going on during the pandemic. Okay, it flew in orbit for 4 months longer than it was expected. So it's supposed to have already been back, but went to the store one more time. That's it. It landed in Florida about 5:20 a.m. with that sonic boom I was telling you about. And like I said, and there's not much that Space Force has shared about what it was doing, and so forth. And if y'all remember, back in 2020, Donald Trump created the Space Force because this was done before the Space Force was done out of the Air Force. The Air Force had the air and the space, and now they split it because they're doing more in space. Keep our eyes on the science. All right. Port City Daily Story. Question for you. How will an electric car change your lifestyle? That's the question. How would it change your lifestyle? No trips to the gas station? You go to the gas station, I wouldn't. I mean, you go to the gas station unless you want something to drink or some chips, but you always get gas. If you don't need gas, you might not stop. So that's one change. So there we go. In the first part of this series, you covered the biggest concern many people have, which about switching. And let's see, the less concerning points through just the importance is the lifestyle change that come with EV ownership. What is the life expectancy of an EV car? They ask. Gas-powered vehicles and electric vehicles have similar life expectancy. The average of both gas and electric vehicles is 200,000 miles, which works out to 15 to 20 years. Okay. You can have it for a long time. Okay. Well, what if the battery get weak? Well, I guess you could say, what if the motor gets weak? It's the same. Let's see. Of course, the car lifestyle expectancy depends on maintenance and driver habit. Just like gas-powered vehicles, electric cars require regular upkeep and benefits from an owner investing in keeping their car healthy. Okay. And then you start talking about ranges versus MPGs. With traditional vehicles dealing mainly with MPGs, electric vehicles have a much different figure to consider range. Range refers to the amount of miles a vehicle can drive on a full charge. So I guess you ain't put $5 of gas. I guess right now inflation rate is so high. I guess $5 is like $20. Okay. Like MPG cars, the range can vary from the advanced idea range and changing to the numbers of factors. Tires, driving habit, temperatures, and braking. Some EVs you push the brake and it starts to pump back to the battery to help you go forward, which is, I think that's mad cool. Alright, so I mean, but the lifestyle, what's going to happen is, I think Biden signed a bill that says by 2030 that all new cars had to be electric anyway, and so lifestyle is not if you want to try something new, you have to get into it anyway. And our final story has to do with the NFL. Now, there's been some shakeups here. And with the Colts organization, they fired head coach Frank Wright and put an interim coach in place, Jeff Saturday. Now, Jeff Saturday used to play for the Colts as a center, and he played for another team. I think he played for Green Bay for a couple years before he retired. And he was a TV commentator and coached high school football for a year or two. And so he has now been named head coach. And let's ask Jeff. Let's ask Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay is the owner of the Colts. Jim Irsay, tell us about why you hired Jeff Saturday. Go.
Win. I'm glad he doesn't have any NFL experience. I'm glad he hasn't learned the fear that's in this league. That's because it's tough for all our coaches. They're afraid. They go to analytics, and it gets difficult. I mean, he doesn't have all that. He doesn't have that fear, and there was no other candidate. We were fortunate that he was available.
Now, did you catch the key words that Jim Irsay said? That Jeff had no experience. He has been tainted by the NFL and the organization. He doesn't have the fear like everybody else. Now, I want to add this little tidbit into it. Now, what's been the problem in the NFL is black coaches not getting a job for various reasons. And so let's go into some of the reasons that they've been given that they don't hire black coaches. According to the league, some have expressed the teams have used as to why they have passed over otherwise qualified black coaches. And here's a list of what they have. Never called plays before. Have too many friends and potential coaching staffs. No previous game clock management. Unsure of their ability to motivate veteran players. Didn't interview well. Lack of necessary experience to lead. Didn't look the part. Seemed nervous throughout the interview process. Job is different than what they had previously. Now, with that said, Jeff Saturday, tell us how you felt about when you got the call about being an interim head coach. Go.
Fully capable, excited about the opportunity, 8 games to, listen, here's a great part about my career. I came in, nobody expected anything. I'm here, nobody expects anything. If it goes well, hopefully it'll go extremely well. But I have no preconceived notion that I'm going to be some spectacular anything. I know I got to work hard, and I'm auditioning not only for this one, but for 31 others, just like everybody else in this game. And make no mistake, man, the job is.
So now, looking at that, and the reason black guys don't get head coaching job, tells me that it ain't about none of these things here. It's just about, hey, I don't want you running my team, period. Because if you can take a guy that has experience, just like, let's say, like Airbnb in Kansas City, you can take Brian Leftwich. I mean, Todd Bowles got a job, but I mean, they kind of slid him in there since AB, Bruce Arians, kind of was pushed out the way and so forth. And Mike Thomas having to be a superstar to keep his job and so forth. And Lovie Smith just kind of got put in there in a situation just because. And then black coaches get jobs and they're fired after the first year and so forth. They don't get enough time to turn the team around and so forth. And these high standards here, and then you just have an owner just grab a guy like, hey, I know him. He can get the job. So that lets me know that all the stuff the NFL put in place, running rules and so forth, none of that really matters. Because the owners are not going to hire nobody that they don't feel comfortable. That's why you hear things like Kyle Shanahan is an offensive mind, which Kyle Shanahan ain't won nothing. I remember Kyle Shanahan was at Washington, and then he went down to Atlanta, and in the Super Bowl got shut completely down by Bill Belichick's defense. And now he's been out there in the 49ers, and I mean, he's almost barely got there, but he can't get over the hump, and it's always some this, that, the third. But it is what it is. Until there's some black ownership in NFL, things are not going to change there as far as the hiring practices. And just recapping here, you know what I'm saying? It looks like this time of year, jobs are laying off to squeeze the inflation. Let's get rid of inflation at expense of workers. You, the working man. And so, with that said, I mean, be vigilant. And like I said, the gig economy is your friend. And with that said, this has been the Brandon T Show and Working Man Committee. See you next time. Peace.